Hey everybody, World Card Game Federation here with a bit of an unorthodox opening video. You guys know how our game being what it is, opening booster packs really isn't a thing anymore. Well, I gotta tell you guys a little bit of a story, and then I'm gonna do, like we said, a little bit of a different thing. I got to attend the Colorado Springs Comic-Con just a little while ago. It was good times had by all. We ran across a fella who was doing the usual comic book booth. Usually you find those where a guy has his back stock of comics, he has some neat sales. We came across one that was actually particularly interesting. It was a tub on the floor, and then when I was able to put my eyeballs back in my head, I realized I was looking at a big stack of scorecards. Now, for all of us who collected Score Z back in the day, the cards flowed like water, had very little value. Mostly we traded ultra rares and other fancy MPs and such, so it was kind of our big deal back then. Well, this bin had a guy who had basically broken up his collection into mock boosters. So he had basically hand-packed a whole bunch of boosters. Now the thing is, this could be totally rigged and silly and full of nothing but the most common of the most common. It could be. I don't know. However, it is a little bit exciting to go back and open some Score boosters that I didn't necessarily have to pay an arm and a leg for. So you guys, if you care to, obviously, if you guys got another business, I understand, other stuff to watch, but if you guys have a minute, let us all together open a bunch of these packs. Like I said, you guys probably noticed, they're like in a big sleeve, taped, tagged, all that sort of thing. So we're going to go ahead and look at them. One of the things that made me sort of buy in on these things was, well, first of all, nostalgia, taking a trip down memory lane, but there was a specific pack on here that had a random, I want to say, Frieza Saga rare, that despite me having collected this game for ages upon ages, I'd actually never seen and never owned, and I don't know how that worked. I went out of my way to collect every unusual card I came across. It was my thing. People knew if you traded with me, I was like, I've never seen that card before. What would you like for it? One of those is probably, again, you guys are, way ahead of me, seen all this junk a million times. Piccolo's Wisdom. Now, this will be, the first one we're going to go ahead and open. Let's see, Piccolo's Wisdom, I guess we're going to call it the equivalent of a setup. To say Power, Piccolo only. Select a Dragon Ball card from your life deck, matching Piccolo's current personality level, and play it and move from the game after use. Neat. Who the heck wouldn't like one more, what do they call that? One more card to help pull out a Dragon Ball and make use of it. And the neat thing is it's named, and it doesn't look like it's actually limited. So could you imagine that? Having played a DB deck back in the old days of Score, and actually been able to have all four in a deck, in addition to all your other regular DB summoning tools. I would have loved that. I can't say it's enough. I never saw this card before. I somehow completely went all my time in this. Oh yes, I'm going to go ahead and open these with a sharp batarang. Yeah, I managed to collect for that long and never once came across it. So let's see what else is in here, folks. The big moment of truth. Let's see if this whole thing was just a big old silly thing. Hey, look at that! Look at that fun stuff! Piccolo's Wisdom, Goku Super Saiyan Blast. Let's see. Stops physical or energy attack, move the game after use. If Goku's mixing drills and play this card, use it as an energy attack instead. Neat. It was a strange play mechanic that only existed in for the Frieza Saga and Score Z. This whole concept of if something's in play, like if DB5 is in play, stuff like that. It's the only time you ever saw that stuff. Whoa, another rare! Goku's Quickness! Woo! Heroes only. Stops the first physical attack in the next combat. Huh? I guess they mean the next action. Remove from the game after use. If Chaozu's Drill is in play, this card can be used as an energy attack. Again, more of that odd Frieza Saga kind of thing that went on. Orange Trick Shots. Energy attack to 5 life cards, endurance 3. For the remainder of combat, all your attacks gain, if successful. You know what's funny? I'm starting to do that thing. I'm starting to undo one of the deepest parts of my mind when it comes to reading old cards. If I read on a scorecard, if successful, my mind already translated to hit. I didn't think I would ever get here. So if successful, your main personality gains 2 power stages. Like, wow, it's basically like a couple of the masteries built into a card. So neat. Orange right cross, don't recognize it. Physical attack in 1 power stage for each non-combat card in play. So we've had a couple of those. It's basically the Android 17 ally, kind of in card form here. I mean, in physical attack form. Orange Elbow Smash. You may remove any amount of commons in your discard. Oh, we were talking about this. We bring this up all the time. People love to ask, why does Fan Z still have things like common, uncommon, rare, and so on? It's for cards like this. Sort of. But cards like this that mention, I just want you to, whoops, get a little bit of a look at that card. Lighting is here is not the best. Well, anyway, this particular card, Orange Elbow Strike, basically says your physical attack, you may remove any amount of commons in your discard pile from the game. For every 2 cards removed this way, discard one of your opponent's drills in play. So that's when it starts to matter. Gina's Jolting Slash, I do remember that one. Orange Power Kick, I'm going to say if I've ever seen it, I don't think I ever actually made use of it. Physical attack, do +4 power stages. If your opponent declared a black, Takuyawaza. This attack stays in play to be used one more time this combat. Not a bad choice at all. Excellent, excellent pseudo booster. I think that's what we're going to call him. I think that's our official word for this. Pseudo booster. Okay, on to our second. Yeah, let's see what I got here. Looks like we got Namekian Dodging Technique. I don't quite remember it. Piccolo Nail Only. I think that is the same as saying Namekian Heritage. Your opponent's main personality cannot use its personality power until it performs an energy attack. How would you guys like that? An event in a fanzine that says your opponent cannot use a physical attack until they use an energy attack. How many decks do you know who don't perform any energies whatsoever? They're like, yeah, you don't do anything this combat. Straining Blocking Move. Wow, what the heck? So I think if I'm reading Straining Blocking Move correctly, you can basically choose to pay its energy attack cost in life cards, and it does that much life to your opponent. I think it's a mill for the damage. It's kind of like Tien's Tri-Beam, like in place of damage you get to destroy. Let me look at the errata on that. Black Twin Blast, the Swift Block, Energy Absorption. Hey, you know what? You can never have enough of this move. I love this card. It's actually in my Piccolo deck, in my old Legacy deck from a million years ago. That's older than some people I know. Straining Focusing Move. This one basically says stops all energy attacks for the rest of the combat, costs 2 life cards to use. Who would love that in Fanzy? Strength Training is fun. Yeah, that's always fun. If your main personality's power rating, wow, that's a mouthful, is greater than your opponent's, your opponent discards the top 3 cards of life deck. So basically, oh look at that! I know it was a common, and I know everybody had them. I know, I get all that. But I'm just saying, I love coming across a classic Time as a Warriors tool. That was worth the cost of admission all by itself. Alright, let's see what's going on Booster Pack 2. Let's see what we got in here. Don't be careful not to damage anything. Get a little too overeager to open one of these guys. Let's see, Android 17 Absorption. Well, let's see if I remember that one. Sell only if Android 17 or Android 18 is in play. They're not a main personality. Remove one of them from the game. Raise sell to his highest power stage. Very situational. I don't think that was really useful even outside of it's just basically outside of the initial set it launched on. Crown Solar Flare, that's fun. If successful, your opponent may not play physical combat. Wow, dig that. That one. Energy attack. Hit, your opponent can't play physical attack cards remainder of combat. Captain Ginyu Frog event or combat. Reduce one main villain personality level if possible. Oh, neat! It's a deleveler card, but only works on bad guys. That's just sweet. Oh, Sal's Defense. Android 20's Enraged. You guys, I can't say this enough. Why is this artwork not the one used for Android 20 Scouting Drill? That'd be fine by me, or some kind of strange energy block he has. Oh, yeah, by the way, my own flavor text would be, "Come to Papa!" So let's see. Pycon's Truce. Stops a focused, stops a focused physical attack or stops a focused energy attack removed from game after use. That's just nice. Wow, I'd love to throw that in the fusion deck with Pycon. It'd be beautiful. Beautiful. Gohan's Quest. Oh, it's another one of those cards. Remember we were talking about those ones that name specific cards? This one said, choose Namek Dragon Ball 1 or Namek Dragon Ball 2 from your life deck and put it into play. Dragon Ball loses all its powers for the remainder of the game. Jeez! I've never heard of that before. Wow. Hey, Goku's Quickness Drill. For all you guys wondering out there if Vegeta's Quickness Drill had a Goku equivalent, yeah, totally did. If this drill is discarded from your hand, place it into play instead. Neat. Already finding a good place. Whenever your opponent's card makes you discard a card from your hand, draw a card. Neat. However, you can accidentally deck yourself, so think about that first. Had that happen, where a card says for it to go off, I need to draw a card, which I inadvertently kill myself. But some of us justify that kind of behavior by saying I go out on my own terms. Let's see. I like that Eric Benson, I think that's his name, Fella used to run Team Badman. He made his great WWF video to go with it. Fantastic times. So blue right cross. Let's see what that does. Physical attack doing +1 power stage of damage. If you declare it to Kuiwaza, you may do 6 life cards of damage instead. Dang! 6 life card physical. Blue betrayal. You guys, I'll tell you what, this artwork would have really made me happy over whatever the heck is going on in the Saiyan Saga for Panini. Red knee strike, typical, stops a physical attack, raise your anger. Blue rebound, sensei deck. Eye gouge, knee bash. I don't know that. Blue Vidal's knee bash. Blue quick blast. Let's see, to make a glare attack. Huh, heroes only, energy attack, lower opponent's anger 2 levels. As basic as it can be. Blue healing ray. You may search your discard pile for any ally, any level 1 ally, and place it in play at 3 power stages above 0. If successful, raise the ally to its highest power stage, move for the game after use. You know, in Fusion, remind me to ask old Tim Bateau, what level are Panini and Fan Z allies considered to be? 0? Level 1? I don't know. There, see what we got going on here. Come here, you. It's tough old tape today. Alright, see what we got going on here. It has a Saiyan heads up. I don't think I had anything special about this booster except that I just like the, you know, the throwing a dog biscuit shot. Physical attack, if successful, and you declare to Kuiwaza to discard up to 2 of your opponent's non-combat cards or allies in play. That's awesome, actually. Imagine how this would read today. Physical attack, hit, destroy or discard 2 of your opponent's setups, drills, or allies. That's awesome. Saiyan Focus. Stops energy attack if the bottom card of your discard pile is the same card. Oh, look, it's the same card as that one. You know, the one with Goku on it. I want to say from like the 2nd set. Where you stop energy attack, you lose 4 power stages. Really neat. I would love to have a whole suite of those. Exhaustion. Your opponent loses 4 power stages to minimum 0. There's a couple stage drain decks I think I would like to throw Exhaustion into. That'd be neat. Saiyan Flying Tackle. Quick Combat Drill. What was this one? You entering combat? Oh, yeah, that's right. It's the basically a little bit of hand filtering. Saiyan Left Kick. Physical attack. If successful, you declare to Kuiwaza. Stack those +4 life cards damage, raise your anger 1 level. That ain't bad. I'd run that. Make you a Swift Strike. Rock, paper, scissors. That was the reason. Because you guys remember that, right? The Ginyu Force was famous for doing the rock, paper, scissors. Rock, paper, scissors. And I always forgot about this little scene in the Majin Buu saga with this scene. It says, both players reveal the top card of the life decks. The player who reveals the highest numbered card places the reveal card into his hand. The other player or both players, if there is a tie, shuffle the reveal cards back in the life deck. That's nuts. With all the black cards that let you put cards on top of your deck, you can just tailor that, grab whatever the heck you want. Who needs limits? Limits are for suckers. So you guys are going to see something real neat. You guys remember I was talking about really bizarre conventions that Scorzy would observe? Like we said, cards that named really specific other cards that, you know, if such and such card is in play. Well, a phenomenon that existed back then, which, like I said, if you guys never played Score, this is all going to sound dumb as rocks, so hang in there. One of those was naming certain cards to search for. For instance, there was a drill that lets you search for any card with the word left in it. Yeah, L-E-F-T, left. Its name, excuse me. And then there were cards that let you search like this one, Majin Vegeta's Powerful Drill. Literally, it says, when entering combat as a defender, you may search your life deck for a card with the word power in the title and put it in your hand. How obscure and strange is that? Cell's Dark Attack, Villain's Only Enter attack is 6 life cards. Android 20's Enraged, come to Papa. Trunks prepares. Oh, look! It's dang, so awesome! When defending in combat, you may draw the bottom 3 cards of your discard pile instead of drawing 3 cards from your life deck. How would you like to not draw out fighting somebody with this card out there? Would it not be the neatest thing that ever happened? Gohan's Peaceful Stance. Raise all personalities in play to their highest power stage. Choose 2 cards from discard pile. Put them at the bottom of your life deck. Neat, I guess. Goku's Quickness Drill. Pycon. Gohan's Quest. Cell Smiles. Android 19's Energy Burst. That's not bad. Energy Attack. Banish your opponent's discard or drill in play. Not a bad move. So if I was running a bunch of drill hate and I was already 19, why not? What would it kill me? Or what would it cost me running a named card to such a capacity? I'd do it. So I don't remember, like we said, there was just dozens upon dozens upon dozens of packs in the guy's tub. So I was looking through them and like, man, now I gotta sort of get a little, I can't think of the word all of a sudden. I gotta get creative on why I'm choosing them. So sometimes you saw silly things, me picking them for silly reasons. This is another one, again, the score concept. I'm so glad we did not revisit it in any version of Panini or Fanzy. Underwater kick, physical attack doing +3 power stages damage. If Arqua's Arena is in play, this is a focus attack. It's performed by Videl, and she has made personality raise your anger 2 levels. You like how many things got to line up for you? Is that enjoyable for you guys? Oh, hey, look, Saiyan Inspection. I don't remember what this does. So it's a setup. Attach this card to your opponent's main personality. Your opponent may not use his main personality power while this card is attached. Discard this drill when your opponent plays a Dragon Ball. How nice would that be? Let me shut you down. Saiyan Heritage. Power main personality 5 stages. What the heck? That might be the most useless card this game's ever produced. So basically it should say Saiyan Heritage. Gain 5 power stages removed from the game after use. What version of the game was that ever good in? That's a good one. Why is this not on any of the stare downs? Saiyan Glare. Energy attack. If declared to Kuiwaza, lower your opponent's anger 2 levels. There's a lot of those sort of generic why bother cards. Don't know why. Saiyan Planet Explosion. Whoa! So look at this one. Saiyan Heritage stops an energy attack and stops all energy attacks that are made during combat. Is that not the neatest thing? And there used to be a random stops all for Saiyan and it just was, why not? I want to say that was in my brother's famous deck, where, as we used to put it, he would just find ways to have like 9 card hands going into combat. Crazy, crazy stuff like that. Oh, I remember why I got this one. Captain Ginyu's Visionary Attack. Energy attack costs you 1 power stage. As plain as humanly possible. But I just love that I had literally never seen it from the Frieza Saga. I collected that stuff to death. Never saw it. Yeah, Jirobe's Gifting Drill. That's funny. That's nice. All the attacks do -1 life card too. That ain't bad. Jace's Style Drill stops the first energy attack made against you in combat. Limit 1 per deck. That's neat. A non-styled energy stopping drill. Ain't nothing like that at Fanzy. Let's see. Captain Ginyu Reversal Drill. A pair of them for some reason. Let's see. Villains only would take you 3 or more power stages of damage. Your attacker takes 1 stage of damage. I would love that in almost any deck I've ever had. And I would think that would be just hilarious stage draining as you do it. Hey, look at this! Jiaozu's Glaring Power. Another card I've literally never seen. Energy attack taking 6 life cards of damage for game after use. Okay. You know, I guess in the old game, the way the game used to play, giant attacks were more dangerous than they would be later, I guess. Either that or more decks were like less defensively postured. I don't know. Maybe super early score was like that. Oh, blue body drop throw? Nah, that wasn't anything. Strength training. I think I must just grabbed a random pack. Woo! Another Times Wars tool! Woo! I just love having classic ones to swap into decks because I have so many that everybody will tell you. If you ever have a minute, you're playing at Chaos with us, Chaos Games and More here in Pueblo, make sure to let them ask any of my buddies what they think of my Time as a Warriors Tool proxies. And then get ready to sit down. They'll tell you about all my stories about having not enough Time as a Warriors Tool, but too many deck ideas. So, like Father, like Son, I guess that's the only one I'm trying to think of. Goten only. Attached to this card, your main personality. All physical attacks this personality performs do +1 power stages damage if successful. Lower your opponent's anger 1 level. Well, that's neat. He's got a stinking blue resourceful mastery that he can attach to himself. That's neat. All those are pretty ordinary stuff. Energy attack does +2 power stages. It was also, I don't know if you guys remember, since Namekian Style Mastery was actually only introduced in the 3rd set of DBZ and Score, it meant that it didn't have a giant base of cards to pull from previous sets. That meant that in those first couple of sets, they actually had a bizarre rule that said you may have up to 8 copies of any one Namekian card. Well, ones with that phrase on it. Literally unprecedented. There's nothing like it nor since. That's what happens when you go back and try to fix stuff. So same old stuff, Rage, Trunks Repairs, Hell Smiles, Goku's Right Knee Bash, Gohan, Goku's Quickness, Paikon's Truce, 17's Neck Hold, that's fun. Nope, nothing too fancy there. Might pick up the pace a bit as we find more interesting stuff. Or less interesting stuff, as it were. Android 17's Haymaker, that's fun. Physical attack doing 5 power stages of damage. If this attack is performed by Android 17, does 7 stages. Neat, I guess. Goku's Conquering Stance, physical attack, lower all players' anger to 0. Neat. Android 20's Energy Dive. Villains only. Energy attack doing plus 3 power stages of damage. What? Oh, it is energy attack doing plus 3 stages. Wow, that's actually really good. Look at that all the way around. So energy attack doing plus 3 power stages. So it's 4 life cards, 3 power stages, and costs 1 stage to perform. I'd run those. I'd totally put that in my Android 20 deck if I had, one of these built for that. So Meditation Drill, Goku Honor Drill, that was fun. So you guys remember this one? This is the when entering combat, use the bottom 3 cards of your discard pile instead of drawing from your deck. That was a very corny thing we got into doing back in the day. Wait, what? Meditation Drill allows the player to shuffle their life decks or discards just before any announced combat. So when entering combat, shuffle your discard pile or life deck. That's neat. I dig that. So Piccolo's Stance. Okay. Goku's Concrete. Yeah, we looked through all of these. So Piccolo's Stance. We've seen a lot of stances lately. It showed up in the Android Saga in Score. Search your opponent's life deck and remove 1 non-Dragon Ball card from the game. Your opponent searches your life deck and removes 1 non-Dragon Ball card from the game. Heck with that. I'd only use it with Master Roshi Sensei. Wait, no, I forgot that doesn't protect my deck. Bunch of hooey. Search my deck. Banish a card. Why would I ever open myself up to that? There was a bunch of those kind of self-defeating cards where it's like, man, if there was a trick to get past them, I never learned it. To make any kind of significant use. Oh, Red Trap. This was my girlfriend's idea. She's like, there was a bug that tickled Goku? That was a card in the game? I was like, yeah, kinda. Sensei deck only. Attach this card to your opponent's main personality after successfully performing an energy attack. That player cannot use non-combat cards while this card is attached. Durr, I'd like to get that clarified. Does that mean setups or drills or both? That would be brutal. Man, I gotta keep that in mind. Or straight jab, energy, uppercut. What was uppercut back then? No, it's the same thing. It's the exact same card. Orange Eye Beam. Another card, never owned one. Energy attack, doing 5 life cards of damage, costs 3 power stages to perform. If you declare Takuwaza, this attack does 7 life cards. Neat. Oh, hey, look. Orange Halting Drill. All successful physical attacks performed against you do a maximum of 3 power stages, limit 1 per deck. I don't know if that still does that. If it does, it's the dumbest thing I ever heard of. But I love it. Ah, this is a ridiculous game. Alright, hey, you guys know, you guys remember watching Toonami back in the olden days? Like, we're talking like late 90s. So one of the things that would come up was Toonami promos about DBZ. And I don't know about you guys, but I watched enough Cartoon Network circa late 90s, early 2000s that I had the promos basically memorized. One of those was the voice actor for Trunks. I just remember his delivery being just perfect. Where he was talking to Goku right after he's supposed to kill Frieza. Goku shows up and he tells him, "Let's both be Super Saiyans." And probably like an openly offensive in a manner. I guess I'm not really used to that. But it's kind of neat. Oh, also, this card, Double Saiyans, makes me think of that one. I know it's Vegeta's vision as he was getting basically at his lowest point to become Super Saiyan the first time. But I don't know, every time I look at this card, I hear Trunks saying, "Let's both be Super Saiyans." Let's see, Ricky's sidekick. Oh, it still does the same thing. Draw the top card of your discard pile. So that's neat. Sand Energy Blast, Blue Softening Stance, Energy Aura. Yeah. Well, that's neat. Sand Energy Aura. Stops energy attack, and your opponent's next action. That's neat. Same thing. Sand Sweeping Defense is the physical version of that. Blue Awakening, Power Up More. I don't know if you guys know, the very first set of Score was basically kind of like trying to tell a story, not really as much a hard card game, which, I don't know, guys. I never dig that. And I played it back then. Oh, neat. Blue Leaving. So, in combat, both players skip the discard step. That's neat. If you ran your opponent out of cards. Oh, I know why I got this card. Why I picked this pack. Blazing Anger. For those of you who don't know, playing Score back in the olden days, and you played Namekian, you didn't level. There were like virtually 0 cards that would raise your anger in Namekian style itself. So what I used to have to do is I used a bunch of cards that were outside of the style, a lot of non-styled stuff. Freestyle, I think we called it back then. A lot of freestyle stuff. So Blazing Anger used to go like this. Raise your anger 2 levels, take the top 2 cards of your discard pile, place the bottom of your life deck. Now, to my knowledge, this was not banished after use. So in a Namekian deck, you'd see me use it like a bunch of times. I was very seldom in range of an MPPV back then, because the games they weren't structured like that. But yeah, it was neat. I actually leveled when no one else did. I literally had a guy stop a game, holler at another guy who was in the game shop back then, and say, "Hey, a Namekian who levels!" It was such a novel thing. So Android 20 is caught off guard. Villains only, place a bot. Oh, look at this, look at this. This is a card that, again, if I ever build like a fusion version of Android 20, I'm going to do a bunch of this dumb stuff. So Android 20's caught off guard, a setup or non-combat. And it just says, place the bottom 4 cards of your discard pile at the bottom of your life deck. Not banished after use, nothing like that. Trunks prepares, Android 16's rage. Physical attack to 7 power stages, destroy the top 2 life cards of your deck. Don't know why that would be good, but okay. Let's Gohan's Kick. I want to say I actually used this card in my own Piccolo deck years ago, but let me see why. Physical attack to plus 3 power stages of damage. Cards that in combat or cards that stop all physical. Yeah, that's what it was. Hey, look at Chance Tri-Beam. Energy attack doing 2 life cards of damage. Stages played to use 2 more times as combat. I'm going to tell you guys a dumb story as I get ready to open the next pack. So I used to play cards with a awful person. Now, people who know me in real life, who've known me for a long time, will know exactly when I say it was Ugly Alan. So Ugly Alan used to play the cheapest decks imaginable. Now look, I gotta give the guy credit. He may not have been the handsomest man alive, but you know what? He knew his way around getting the most out of really cheap, crummy cards in a card game. The man didn't own a rare in any of the side games besides Magic, but he could still hang with anybody. He would just sit there and work it through till he figured out how to get the most out of them. He ran the cheapest Orange 18 deck anyone's ever seen. He would have basically no blocks in the whole deck because he didn't need any. He ran all the allies that were blocks. He ran all the drills that were blocks. So in other words, you'd have to hit him like a clean 5-6 times before you actually got to the point where he needed to do a block himself. And then he would run Tian's Tri-Beam with a bunch of other damage boosters. So basically he got the most bang for his buck. He did not need to level. He could protect his allies, drills, and things pretty much indefinitely with the whole wall of them, and he would use multi-use attacks. A lot of Chronos Heat-Seeking Blasts, a lot of Chance Tri-Beams. He'd amp them up so big, he didn't need other cards to do it. So it was the most efficient in terms of space and damage output and everything. You've never been locked down that hard in your life. Never. Because if you only ever played, Panini and Fantasy. Yeah, that guy. Oof. Oh, hey, we were talking about a bunch of card stuff that didn't make a lot of sense. It wasn't terribly useful in the old, even in Score. So one of those things, by the way, was the Majin cards that appeared relatively late in the series. So not to be that guy, but really DBZ peaked around the Cell Saga and Cell games. Really, the game was never really any bigger in terms of participation in large scale. That's my opinion. Maybe people disagree. Maybe it was different in your neck of the woods. But by the time the Majins were on the scene, I'm going to say the game was a little on the wane because I think we're starting to see the first of other card games start to poke through heavily. Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Magic's ever present. I'm just saying, it was a lot of ways to split our attention. But anyway, Majin cards came kind of late, and Majins themselves were never as popular as certain MPs. To be honest, guys, despite the game going on for as long as it did, if you went to a tournament, you really only seen like the same 5-6 MPs really just getting used to ad nauseum. So anyway, this was the Energy Combat card, Majin only, Energy Attack, and Power 2, for those of you who don't remember. Empower means you can forego all the text after the word Empower, but increase the life card damage by that number. So Power 2 made additional 2 life cards, but if you don't use the Empower, you get the rest. It says you may reduce damage this attack deals by any amount to a minimum of 0. For every life card damage reduced this way, discard one of your opponent's drills in play. So here's the thing that blows my mind. That was useless until we got into Fusion. And now all of a sudden we have a whole plethora of Majin characters who can make great use of that card. Heroic Shoulder Slam, Sensei deck, heroes only, physical attack plus for life cards of damage if performed against a Majin, your opponent discards it. Wow, destroys the top 3 life cards of the deck. Excellent card. Let's see, Black Jump Kick. Wow. Gee, that's effective. Look at that one. Physical attack, doing 1 life card of damage, and 1 power stage. Neat. But it has an effect, hit, banish the bottom 6 cards of your opponent's discard pile. Now, back in Score, I'll tell you flat out that it'd be jack. Losing your discard pile hardly meant anything. Any style except for Namekian, it hardly mattered. You just hardly ever went back for your discard pile. Nothing compared to the current game is what I'm trying to say. Obviously, there's some people who used it. You know, I did. So let's see. Foot Smash, Defensive Flight, Namekian Battle Stance. I don't remember that one. Oh, you want to hear an old story? Me and my brother were forever fighting at this game. And he would always play Saiyan, I always play Namekian, and we would just fight and fight and fight and fight until there was nothing left, man. Well, the Namekian Battle Stance. So Sensei deck stops physical energy attack. If you declare it Takuiwaza, if your opponent declared a Saiyan Takuiwaza, draw the bottom card of your discard pile move for the game after use. Only ever useful in our matchup. Completely worthless card otherwise. It is probably sitting in the old backpack where all the old cards were at this very moment in the storage where it all ended up. In my Sensei deck and my old Piccolo Legacy deck. So, yeah, Andrew 18's Kneeing Drill. Oh, another one of those cards, you guys. Remember I was telling you. When entering combat as a defender, you may search your life deck for a card with knee in the title and place it into your hand. Oi. Hey, look, another one of the Piccolo's Wisdom. Sweet. Gohan Sword Slash. Tien's Power Burst. I don't know if you guys ever told you about that. I want to make a Tien freestyle deck where it's just 99% just his named cards. I don't know. It just seems like fun to me. Energy attack. If successful, stops opponent from playing any other energy attacks. Dang, that's powerful. Vegeta Sacrifice, you guys. It's the level 4 in a card. Not even kidding. Vegeta, Majin Vegeta only. Energy attack, you 15 life cards of damage. If performed against a Majin, this is a focused attack. You lose the game in your next attack or attack phase. The only thing I can think of is if I go out, I'm going out on my own terms. Goku Swiftly Moving. For you guys who probably know Trunks Swiftly Moving really, really well, this is a really fantastic card. I've always made the joke that the way Team 4-Star portrays Goku is kind of an nincompoop, you know? That you would just catch the card or energy attack you throw at him. He's like, wow, neat. What do you call this? As he throws it right back at you. Yeah, that's what it does. It basically says, you know, stop an energy attack. You may perform the exact, copy of the attack this card stopped. Gotenks Flight. I don't know that one. Physical attack with 6 power stages of damage. If fused by a fused personality, this is a focus physical attack. You additional +4 power stages, so it's a 10 power stage physical, and lowers your opponent's anger to 0. Well, if you guys don't remember, fused personalities were just the bottom worst things to try to make happen. It was so uncommon to fuse them together, they actually gave you multiple levels. Basically, you had to have your Goku, your Vegeta, and your Potara earrings all in play at the same time to make it happen. That sounds really simple, but maybe it would be in Panini, but not so much in Score. Generally, a waste of time. Alright, so let's see. Speaking of the King Drill, once per turn, look at the top 3 cards of your life deck and put one of them in your hand and remove the other 2 from the game. Durr! Gets Raditz power, but just for 3 cards instead of 1, or instead of 2. Straining Focus move. Focus physical attack to be +7 power stages of damage. If successful, you may not use a card during your next definitive. Wow, that's kind of funny. A really hard-hitting focused physical attack, but you basically have to take whatever the heck hit you comes your way next. Wow, that's neat. That's actually probably the essence of straining, I think. I think they should always leave you vulnerable like that. Honestly, I wish we kept that concept in Panini, or some kind of equivalent. Maybe eventually. Red Rolling Drill, Blue Reversal Drill. Oh yeah, it's basically the same card as duplicate the last physical attack used against you, that kind of thing. What? Creates +2 stage drain with each successive... Oh, okay. Basically, Black Bear Hug Drill. All your physical attacks do +2 power stages of damage. That'd be really neat. And this one's just helpful. When entering combat as a defender, gain 3 power stages. Neat. I'd do it. I'm not an energy guy, I'm not a blue guy, but alright. I'd still see the utility. Well, I hope you guys are hanging in there. We still got a bunch of packs to go. Like I said, I got a little spend happy that day. I just bought a big old pile, worked out a decent deal with a guy. So let's see, what do we got here? Blue Round Throw, Namekian Right Cross. Oh yeah, look at that. Well, that was neat. Namekian Right Cross. Now I remember why I got this one. I think I would just like to have this in any Namekian Fusion deck. I have a friend who built a cell Fusion Namekian, and I gotta remember to ask him if he has this. Basically, a physical attack that says discard any cards attached to your main personality. So if you got a problem with attached cards falling onto you, not coming off, it's a good way to deal with it. Let's see, blue backflip. Wow, Modular Overwhelming. Modular only physical attack to 8 power stages of damage and perform against Videl. Again, with that nonsense. Raise your anger 1 level. That's a good card. I'd dig that. I'd take an 8-stage physical that raises my anger. That's neat. I'm just trying to dish out all the damage I can. Hey, you guys remember the Namekian backhand? It used to be called Namekian combo. It reads like this. Physical attack for 3 power stages of damage. If you declare it to Kuiwaz, this attack stays on the table to be used 2 more times this combat. It didn't have like the whole no endurance thing, but it was a card. So in Fusion, technically you could have 6 of these cards. They're just multiples. In fact, it might be a neat little idea. You just do it, camp it with a bunch of big old drills, boosting up your physical damage, or you have physical damage output. I'd do it if I wasn't so lazy. Oh, the old blue mental drill had everybody's favorite guy on it. Modular Display of Power. Event, choose one of your opponent's personalized play person lose 5 power stages. Neat, I guess. If I was doing like a stage drain deck, like a Majid Babidi or something, I could dig that. Oh, switching to openers. I'm going to go ahead and use the big Raiden sword to open these ones. Why not? Alright, let's see what we got here. Oh, Majin Buu's Egg Drill. That's right. When your opponent takes life cards of damage, you may place a card in your discard pile under this drill face down. If you have 4 cards under this drill during your non-combat step, you may remove this drill and any cards in it for the game to search your life deck for an ally. For a level 3 ally. Oh, yeah, you guys remember that? How they used to have allies have different levels and all kinds of stuff like that. Basically, it was a way to speed up the process of getting a level 3 ally out. You know, not bad by any stretch. Majin Buu Stomach Throw. Straining Hand Blast move. What was this? Energy attack. Doing 7 life cards of damage. Discard a card from your hand. If successful, remove all non-combat cards, battlegrounds, and allies from the game. Dang! Oh, look at that. Your opponent may draw up to 3 cards. I think I would totally throw this into Black Mischievous and enjoy them drawing 3 cards and losing 3. It would be beautiful. And then I would like end combat in the next action. It would be just beautiful. Straight tripping move. I don't remember that one. Physical attack. Force the defender to lose 2 life cards. The attacker. I don't even know what that means. Majin Buu's invincibility. Majin Buu only. You may use this card during either your attacker attacks phase or defender defense phase. Prevent all damage from all attacks performed against you this combat. Dang! Limit 1 per deck. Basically, your own personal times the warrior's tool, except it prevents as opposed to stops. Majin Buu's Flight. A rare. Physical attack to 1 life card damage and power 2. This attack does an additional +1 life cards for each card with Flight. Entirely your discard pile. Again with that nonsense. For deck construction purposes, it makes no sense. Like, I get it. You build a deck with like a theme and all that stuff. I just don't think it was ever useful because I don't recall ever having used it or even fought it. To make you Rock Crush, 6 life cards, cost 3 power stages, throw, physical attack. Fighting and cover, I think, is why I got this one. Endurance 2, choose a personality to play. For the remainder of combat, damage from each physical attack performed by that personality is reduced by 2. Power stages, and damage from each energy attack performed by that personality is reduced by 2. So neat. It's basically red, what was it? Red Blazing Aura, Blazing Anger, one of those ones that lets you permanently reduce damage at combat. So neat. Everyone is attacked. That's fun. Endurance 1, villains only. Every hero loses 3 power stage move the game after use. I'd do it if I was doing a Cell Junior deck and just mobbing them, stage damage. Blue Protective Bubble, Sensei deck only. Stops physical and energy attack for the remainder of combat. You may remove any amount of cards in your Sensei deck from the game during your defender defense phase instead of using a non-drill card. What? Prevent 2 life. Oh, I get it. Basically, you can turn all the cards under your Sensei deck into a way to block. So neat. Nothing too terribly interesting. Like if you just have a giant Sensei deck, but you genuinely don't care what's in it. It could work. Boy, did Android 20 get a bunch of cards. I missed when the game would pump out a bunch of named cards for a character. That was neat. Android 20 search pattern. Oh, you know this one. It's basically the same as Android 20's Domination, but it's a setup. Choose a card for your discard pile, place atop your life deck, name a non-Dragon Ball card, search your opponent's life deck for a copy of that card, move it for the game after use. So, similar. Android 20, Frieza's ready. Frieza's body is ready. Oh, look at this! Another one of those cards I never had. Then I got another one to talk about here. Frieza's Featherlight Touch. Villains only. Capture opponent's Dragon Ball. Root for the game after use. Limit 1 per deck. Neat. DB manipulation. Frieza. We've actually already seen that a couple of times. It works real good. You guys remember? Wow, now there's a pack and a half for you. Take a look at this. All this goodness. So let's start off with Super Boost Absorption. Physical attack to be +3 power stages of damage. If successful, choose an ally in play. You now control that ally as if your own. So, could you guys imagine that? A freestyle ally capture a la blue black combo, or what's the other one called? Chin kick? No, it's one of those odd ones. But so that's super neat. The only thing that's really important is that's an Irwin promo. You had to have bought one of those doggone toys to have ever gotten one of these. So neat. All right, you guys remember I told you about Ugly Alan utterly annihilating me, blasting me to smithereens, using a whole bunch of super cheap cards? This might have been the only rare the man ever owned. It was Krellin's Heat-Seeking Blast. So think about it. It says, this attack cannot be stopped or prevented, and there's 4 life cards at the base. He'd have like a 4 to 6 life card buff on it. Yeah, it was real easy to die, get shot to death by these things. Whew, bad times had by all. Mostly me. Can you tell I lost a couple of good Saturday tournament matches to that deck? Can you tell I'm a little salty, despite it being nearly 20 years ago? Let's see, Namekian, Destruction Blast. What was that one? Oh, that was 4 for 7. Blue Thunder Flash, neat. Black Driving Elbow, Breakthrough Drill. What was Breakthrough Drill? Oh, cards in combat can't be played. String Arm Drag, Blue Recovery. What was this? Oh yeah, the Middle of Nowhere location card. Completely abandoned concept in Panini. Probably rightfully so. So this was all attacks with Majin. The title do +3 power stages of damage. I think there's some promising material there. Again, everything from late score makes me want to have a Majin deck. Let's see, next pack. Blue Prepared Drill. Oh, it's just a defense shield. I don't know if you guys remember back then when they used to use ridiculous code words on your certain cards. So defense shield back in the day just meant, like, you know, stops the first unstopped kind of thing. And the thing about these is cards with the word focused on them used to just punch right through them. So, yeah, this was the blue defense shield. So, you know, you'd see it if it was hardcore with black. Black Studying Drill. Don't remember that one. User entered combat. Draw a card. Then choose a card from your hand and place it atop your life deck. Hand filtering. Okay, neat. Enough, I guess. Will Yajirobe and the Awful Corn never leave us? Blue Healing Ray, Blue Gambit. Oh, I remember this. I think I used it once or twice. User entering combat. Revealing your hand to your opponent. If at least 3 cards in your hand are blue style, attach this card to your main personality. While attached, you may place allies into play that are up to 2 personality levels higher than your main personality. Again with that. Like I said, it's completely outmoded because we just don't do that. Allies don't have levels. So, it didn't translate. It didn't translate is a nice way I could think about that. Andrew 18's Low Blow is a real card. Totally. Physical attack. If this attack is stopped, your opponent's main personality loses 2 power stages. So neat. Similar to our Arm Breaker. You see a lot of that inspiration come across where it was clearly a retool of an old scorecard. So Andrew 17's Backbash, Energy Burst, Haymaker, Conquering Stance, Energy Dive, Neck Hold. Boy, I had a lot of cards. Piccolo Stance again, and Orange High Block. I forgot why I chose this. Endurance X, extra main personality's power operating. Neat. Wow, that could make this a giant one of some of those, like a 6 PUR, like a Piccolo level 4. It would make it 6 endurance. Dang. Oh, -1. Sorry, pardon me on that. So it says stops physical attack from the remainder of combat. Whenever you use endurance, you do not have to remove a card. Wow, for the game, that would be sweet. I'd have a good old time playing that. Throw it right into my orange 18 energy beats and have a good old time. This is going to tape down real good. Alright. So let's see. Power Boost. I remember having this card on my deck, and it was just silly to have. Use immediately before you perform an energy attack. You do not need to pay any cost to energy attack. Does +2 life cards. Oh, I remember getting blasted by Ugly Alan with this card. Oh, man. I was like, I finally got you stage locked. You're like, no, you don't. Just, oh, hey, another one of those cards that let me level up as a Namekian was Empowerment. Raise a hero's anger 1 level. If Piccolo nails your main personality, raise your anger 2 levels. It worked. I would level, but guys like me don't level. Enter the arena, Location Searcher, Focus, Sword Strike, Focus Physical Attack can be +3 stages. If you successfully your opponent's anger 3 levels, that'd neat. Namekian Flying Kick, don't remember what that one was. Choose the card disco pound, move for the game, don't need that. Blue Stomach Eruption, Hip throw. Oh, blue idea. Discard when your opponent's drills in play. I don't know. It was just a random pack that I grabbed. So let's see what else. We're down a little nitty gritty here, fellas. Let's see if we can find anything fun in this whole pile. Not that I haven't enjoyed the heck out of it. The memory lane, all the Times of Warriors tools, a bunch of rares I ain't never seen before. I got no complaints. I got my money's worth. So let's see. Glare Attack, Battle Stance, Majin Death Focus. Remember when you could have titles like that? Majin only. Use immediately after I perform an energy attack. Oh, sorry. Use immediately after an energy attack you perform becomes successful. Discard up to 3 of your opponent's allies and play. Draw a card. Oh, I'm going to go right into a Majin Bobbity deck. That's such a good time. Another power boost. That's neat. And blue round throw. That was always fun. Though interpreting the game's wording in those first couple sets is so pull out the hieroglyphics. Either Rosetta Stone. Oh yeah, you guys remember how incredibly gay Garlic Jr.'s henchmen were? The Spice Boys? Vinegar Has Plans, this is called. In event, place the opponent's ally at the bottom of their life deck. If Earth Dragon Ball 4 is in play, you may place 2 allies instead of 1. Again, who the heck? Oh, Expectant Trunks, look at that. User entering combat. Search your discard pile for any one combat physical energy combat card and show it to your opponent, place it in your hand. Visiting the past for we call another one. How beautiful is that? It's a little more peculiar on what you can get, but does it matter? Oh man, I used to use these. Those are my bread and butter for a long time. See, I could never match my brother in sheer slugging power when it came to Namekian versus Saiyan, but you know what I could do? I could forever keep raising myself to my highest power stage, and that's what I did. A lot of my cards just blew me back up to the highest power stage. It's like, yeah, I took that hit. What of it? Black Energy Deflection Drill. You may play an energy attack from your hand and pay its energy cost. Oh, look! It's the doggone Black Manipulative Mastery, but in a drill form. Basically, it says you may play an energy attack from your hand and pay its energy cost in order to stop an energy attack. Your opponent takes 1 life card of damage. So I like that one. Pay the cost of an energy attack from your hand and pay its cost in order to stop an energy attack. Your opponent destroys the top card of life deck. I gotta look up the errata. If this lets me keep the card that I paid, I'm gonna throw this into Black Manipulator, my ultra super secret one, which isn't very secret. It's gonna be good times. So we're down to the last 4 packs, counting them in my hand. Heroic Discovery. Look at your opponent's hand. If your opponent's main personalized android's title, choose a card discarded from your hand. Neat, I guess. Healing Magic. Used during your non-combat set. Place one of your allies, level 1 allies, your discard pile into play's highest power stage. Place the bottom 3 cards of your discard pile at the bottom of your life deck. Dang! I would love any card like that. It's like stinking blue battle readiness, but only targets a discard pile, but also heals you? That's just boss. Black Zarbon Transformation Drill. Increase your power rating by 1. Neat, I guess? Oh, Ducky Technique. Look at this card. If you declare them to Kuiwaza, raise your main person's highest power stage and place the bottom card of your discard pile at the bottom of your life deck. Remember I told you? I couldn't outpunch him, but I could just keep powering up and take every hit he threw at me. Oh yeah, look at this artwork. Look at how wild and random that is. Hercule's Underground Training Area. During your rejuvenation step, you may place the bottom 5 cards you discard pile at the bottom of your life deck. What the heck? Why does this exist? That's how why you got to get rid of all location cards as quick as you can, because dumb stuff like that. Alright. So, you know, I was telling you about how I was making a deck that leveled. One of those cards was this one. Because you remember in Score, anybody could use anybody's named cards unless they were real specific. So I used to use Gohan's physical attack, gain 1, or raise your anger 1 level, gain 5 power stages. It was neat. There's a lot of stuff going on. You guys remember one of the game's earliest banned cards, Chaozu Psychic Halt? Basically, your opponent skips all, basically cannot perform any attacks from during combat. It was dumb even back then. Trunks Draw Steel. Physical attack or stops physical attack. That's just fun. It's not a sword card though, so it doesn't synergize the way maybe it should. Wow. So if you control no other style drills, you after taking damage from an energy attack, draw the bottom card of your discard pile. So if you're drill light, this ain't a bad card, and I'll keep it in mind again for my super secret black style deck for fusion. Alright. We're down to the last two. I doubt we're going to see anything quite as fun as what we've seen so far, but hey, we gotta see this thing through. To make an energy drill, after every successful energy attack you perform, you may discard a card from your hand and shuffle it into your life deck, draw a card. Neat, I guess? Hand filtering. Blue upward block, making physical drill, raise your main personality's highest power state. Oh no, sorry. Raise your main personality's power up rating by 1 while drills in play. Do +1 stages with every physical attack. I remember I always wanted to find a place for it, but it never worked. Majin defense drill. Oh look, a Majin only defense shield. Look. Defense shield stops the first unstopped physical attack form against you, limit 1 per deck. Awesome sauce. That's another one of those. Oh yeah, and the Namekian defense shield. I don't remember if I ever bothered to have it in any of my decks, despite playing Namekian pretty much up to the last day of score. Even when I started mixing in GT into it. So, orange splitting headache. I don't remember why I got this one. Energy attack. Oh, endurance 1. Energy attack gives 6 life cards of damage. You may place 2 cards from your discard pile under all the drills that have cards under them. So I guess if you have a bunch of those power-up ones, neat. Orange Dragonade. Goku's Righteous Force, that's fun. Enemy attack if successful, also draw the top 3 cards to the opponent's discard pile and move them from the game. Wow. Okay, just banish the top 3 cards of discard pile. Raccoon Boom was a real card, if you guys ever wondered, that's real. Vegeta's Pride Drill. All attacks you perform with aim cards that match your main personality do +2 power stages of damage. If your main personality is Vegeta, your power rating is increased by 1. I'd do it. Jace Flash Attack, also known as Darude Sandstorm. That's it. That is the end of our pile. And I'm going to say I enjoyed every bit of this, guys. Going back in time, going back to where I only had a goatee or possibly a soul patch, and my hairline was a little further forward, and all the world and its possibilities were open in front of me. I thank you all for following me on this little trip of mine, and I bid you peace.